Okay, so let's open our model. So this is test 6. Just click on that. Okay, so in last session, yes, so we have completed this 3D model, right? So today we are going to just set up our drawings. So just if you go here, top of slab, right? So this is your top of slab. So you can just clean up this view. Okay, so first of all, hide all section marks. So click any one of this section and then say here hide in category. I don't want to show here any section marks. Then you can just delete this direction slab direction symbol. Then you can manage all those grid, right, like that. And then you can give the dimension here, right? So you can just add the dimension, right? So if you see, so you can see here, so dimension is as per 2.5 aerial. Okay, so you can see the arrow and all those things, but you can modify this. Okay, so you can go here, edit type, and if you want to change in that type, so you can just change, or you can create here. Okay, so say duplicate, and I will just add here str for structural, right? And then you can change your dimension style. Then yes, so you can see here, so where is that leader mark? So you can see tick mark size here, then tick mark here, arrow 30 degrees. So you can change this. Suppose I want to give here arrow fill 30 degree. Okay, so you can select this, and if you click here, okay, so you can see the arrow has been changed. If you want to change again different, so if you go here and you have option here, so arrow fill 30 degree and say apply and okay, right? So you can change these values. Then if you select, and suppose I want to increase the size of this arrowhead, okay, so you have given here tick mark, okay, and line here. So the arrow size, this is your arrow type, right? And show the leaders when the text moves away from the origin. So these are all setting here by default. Okay, so if you want to change, so you can change. So next one is tick mark line weight, and then dimension extension here, then clip. Then suppose if I want to change the size for this arrow, okay, and then solid in, okay, so these are all arrow related, and here is text related. Okay, so width factor and all those things you can see here. Then this is your text alignment, then this is your font. Okay, and here is the units here. Okay, so if you click here, so this is a millimeter. So these are all by default here. Then if you go down, so all those modify, you can modify this dimension style. Okay, so if you go here, so text, so text size is 2.5, right? And if you click here, apply and okay, and here we have already created different types of dimension style. So suppose if you want to use 3 mm aerial, so you can increase this. Okay, so this is your dimensions. Okay, so if you click here, so and say here edit type, so all those things you can see. Text height is 3, text offset from the dimension line is 1.7. Okay, so those things you can see here, right? And okay, so these are all dimensions, so you can set as per your requirement. Okay, suppose if you want to give the dimension here, right? And if you want to, suppose if I give the dimension, so you need to set your dimension. Suppose I want to set here 3 mm aerial, so you can add your dimension like that. Okay, and here. Okay, so the first drawing I have created for base plate layout plan. So I don't want to show this footpath because I want to show only my steel column location. So you can hide this from this drawing. So you hide here. Then okay, like that. Then you can, okay, so this is our metal sheet. So I want to show only this steel member. Okay, remaining concrete member I want to show in half tone, means you can say in faint, because my in this drawing I want to just give the information for steel structure. So you can select this all concrete items here. Okay, so and you can just right click and say here by element and say half tone. Okay, so you can see this looks faint here because I want to show only steel member here. Okay, this drawing is my steel, and you can give the name here also. So right click and you can rename here and say base plate, base sorry base plate layout plan, right, and say okay and say yes. So you can see this is your plan view here, base plate layout plan, right. And this metal sheet you can also click and right click again and say by element and convert into the half tone, right. And I don't want to show this ramp because those thing I will covered in concrete drawing. Okay, so this roller shutter also you can hide this. So type VV and just click on door and you can hide all the doors. Okay, so you can see this is your plan. Okay, and then you can arrange all the grids here, right. So you can, I have add here. Okay, I will check here if arrow size. So here already large we have added here. Then this is your line weight, then tick mark line weight. Okay, suppose if I increase this 5 and 5. Okay, here 5 and here also 5. Let's see what is the changes. Okay, so the line width is makes it dark here. Okay, so make it undo. So I want to just give as per that. I want to just search here arrow size, if you have any option for the increase the arrow size. So large till 30 degree. Okay, so this is the right thing. Till dimension, then width and tick mark. There is no option for the, but if you use the latest one, so you have option for the text also, arrow also here. So if you see the text size, the same option you can see size of tick mark. So you can increase the size of tick mark. So okay, so let's say okay, so this dimension we have added. Then you need to just hide all reference lines. Okay, and you can just convert this. So if I try to start dimension, so you need to set this dimension as per your requirement. Okay, and I will just check which one this. So this is 3 mm aerial and this is also 3 mm aerial. Why the difference here? Yes, so yeah, 3 arrow fill 3 mm, right. So if I start to, you need to set this arrow fill 3 mm aerial and you can start your dimensioning. So if you have already given one dimension, okay, so you can just select your dimension and this option is apply on here. So you need to just click edit and witness and you can continue your dimension, right, like that. So this okay, so what I do, I will hide this. wall also. I want to show only slab edge, so type eh. Okay, eh means hide element. So this slab I want to convert into the half tone also. Okay, I want to show only steel member, so this is my slab edge. Then select, click here, and you can give the slab edge. Then also here, okay, and then add here. So this dimension you can give. So this is, you can just make it round figure. So increase 6 mm both side. Okay, so I will move by 6 mm here, and here also 6 mm. So I can get round figure. Oops, here 400. Oops, I think. Okay, so this should be 400. So delete this and use this option. Add your offset 400, right? And trim this line, then trim this line, right? And say complete. Okay, so this dimension will be delete because our one dimension is delete here. So say remove. So you can continue this dimension. So select and you can continue. Okay, so you have given in board. You need to just add the board vertical as well as horizontal. Then here also you need to add 389. So you need to increase 1 mm so we can get the round figure. Okay, so select this line and click, type move, and here also you need to increase top and bottom also 1 mm below and say okay. What happened? Yeah, 390, 390 comes. Then you can rearrange this grid also. Okay, so once you given this dimension, then you can add the total dimension of this periphery. Okay, so you can give the total dimension. So total dimension is 18.780 meter. Then you can rearrange all the grids. Then you can add here also from this point to this point. So this is 15.8 meter building width, right? And after that, suppose I want to add here tagging. Okay, so suppose if I go here annotation and we have option here tag by category. Okay, if you click here and if you click on your column, so this size is appear here. Okay, so if you click here, right, so this is tagging here, right? So if you edit this, so click here. So if I suppose if I select this column, okay, so you can see 305, 305, and 18 UC, right? So this is your name of the family here. So you can assign here different in different way. So if you click, okay, so if you click here and if you click here edit family, sorry, you need to click this tag and see edit family. Okay, so this is your tagging here. So if I select and say here edit, or you can say edit label from here or here, same way. And if you click here edit label, so you can see the type name parameter we have added here. Okay, so that's the reason if I given the tg command for this column, so this name is appear. Why? Because if I select this column, so this is your type name, and I have assigned the type name in parameters. So if you go here in, okay, so you can see, so this is, if you select here, so you can see this is the type name of the our column, and we have assigned the type name as a parameter here. So that's the reason this type name is adding here. So I want to give tag here. Okay, mark. Okay, so if you go in your drawing, so if you click here and if you have option here edit type, right? So if you click on your column and go to here edit type, if you go down, we have option here type mark. Okay, here, so you can suppose I have assigned 305 by 118 UC column as a C1. So you can add here C1. Okay, and say apply and okay. Then after that you need to change the type parameter here. Instead of name, you need to add the type mark. So how to add? Go to here edit type and then select this and click here edit label. So click on that. So remove this type name from this parameter column. So select this and click on this red button. So if you want to remove, so you need to use this red button, and you can add here type mark. So if you go here, so the here is the different category parameter. So I want to give the type mark because I have added the C1 in type mark. Okay, and if I give the tag, so my mark will come as a tagging here. So this type mark I want to add instead of type name parameter name. So add here. So I have add here type mark and say apply and okay. Once you've done these changes here, so you can click here load into the project and say overwrite existing version. Click on that. So you can see, so C1 is appear. Why C1 is come? Because I have given here C1 in type mark and I have given the type mark parameter in tag family. Okay, so if suppose if you click here and say edit family, so you can see this is my type mark. Okay, so if you click on this edit label, so you can see type mark here. So that's the reason C1 is from, because I have assigned the C1 as a type mark for this column. Okay, so if you go again and you need to just move here and you can just remove this leader. Okay, and then you can add here. This is your C1. Okay, so you need to do this process once. Okay, so for this size we have already given. So if you use only tg command, so if you want to add the shortcut command for tagging, so type T and G. So you can see this C1 is appear. You need to add only one location, means you need to just modify your parameter for this column. So it comes C1. So here also come, just give the tg command. I don't want to give the leader, so remove this. So you can see this is C1, this is C1, then this is C1. So this is question mark because I haven't assigned any type mark for wind column. So one by one we will assign. So this is C1. Okay, so this is also C1. Then this here also C1. Then you can move here. So select, then move, then select, and then move. Right. So these are all C1. Similarly, you can assign C2 for this wind column. So we select and go to here edit type and go to the type mark, add here C2 and say apply and okay. So tagging in parameter, we have already assigned the type mark for column. So it's applicable to all columns with different size. So type TG. So you can see C2 is appear, right? So type again. So you can see C2 is added here. So here also, okay. Then here also, sorry. Okay, so you can see. Similarly, you can assign this column also. So for this column, I will assign C3. So add a C3 for this. Add. And then you can add TG command. So you can see C3 and C3 appear and say control save. Okay, so I all column I have given the annotation. Then type TG. So you can assign the slab thickness for this slab also. So if you give the TG command and click here, so there is no tag loaded for floor. Do you want to load? So yes. So you need to search floor category. So go to the annotation and you need to search the here floor annotation, floor tag here. So if you go to the annotation and you need to search floor tag. Okay, I will search for the tagging here. No, so tagging, I think it should be in annotation. Then say structural. Then you can search here tag here. Okay, so you can see different tag here. So you need to search floor tag also. Where is the floor tag? Column tag here. Then okay, we will see one by one. So this is reinforcement tagging. Where is the floor tagging? Okay, so here's different tagging here also. Slab tagging. Okay, I will just search again. Okay, so there is no any. I will search in architectural. Let's see. Floor tagging is available or not. Yes, so you can see this is the floor tagging. Okay, so you need to load this, open, right? And if you see, so it's generic 300 mm. Why? Because if I select, so this name is added here. So type name is assigned as a tag here. So you can change this. Okay, so or you can change this or you can rename this. Okay, for this instead of this, so I will add here 300 thick slab. Okay, so and say apply and okay, so you can see this has been changed. So you can give the rename. Then you we have option here. So if you click again and if you want to okay, so okay, if you select this and go to here edit family, so this is our floor tag, right? And if you click here, right, so we have option here, keep horizontal labels. Then middle means exactly middle center location of this. Then if you click here edit type, so you can see this is the type name assign. Okay, then we have one more option. So if I click here, so wrap between the text, align middle. Okay, so I will close this. No. Okay, so let's see horizontal label leader line. So if I click here, so leader line says appear. So untick this and here the leader here. So if you want to give the leader, so you have option. But I don't want to give the leader. So 300 thick slab here, right? Then so all column location we have covered here, right? Then similarly, so this first drawing I have created for this base slab layout plan. Then you can hide this. Okay, your direction arrow. So select a right click and hide by category. So I don't want to show. Okay, so this is your first drawing. Okay, so this first drawing is you are ready. Then if you go here in sheet, okay, you have option here sheet and say right click and say new sheet. Okay, and this is by default A1 metric and say okay. So this is your sheet. Okay, and then you can add your details here, honor name, suppose XYZ. So if you're working on client as per the client created Revit template, so all those things they have already created as per their details. Then project name, you can say ABC here. Then you can add here column base plate layout plan. Okay, so this is your oops, it's very big here. Okay, so or you can say layout plan base column base plate plan, just say up to here. Okay, so I will just delete this L base plate up to there. Then date and all those things. Then this is your drawing number. Okay, and here scale you need to which scale we need to add here. Okay, so once your drawing is ready, okay, sheet template is ready, so you can see this one is created with column base plate layout plan. Okay, or you can say just base plate. Okay, base plate plan. And then you have already create here your plan. So simply you need to just drag here inside this sheet. Okay, so you can see, and title is also come here, so you can just rearrange and then you can just move this title. Okay, like that. You can extend this. So okay, so this text, okay, so if you go here, so we have option here, title with underline. So this title is come here. Suppose if you don't want to give title, so say no title. If you have already provide here base plate plan, so you don't need to give the title here. Okay, and then after that, okay, so plan is ready here. And then after that, suppose I want to add some notes here. Okay, so how to add the notes? So if you want to add notes, so go to here legend, so you can see, and then right click here and see new legend and say notes. Notes on S01. Suppose this is my S01 drawing. Okay, so this is your notes will be added here. So you need to add the notes here. So first of all, you need to set this scale 1:1. Okay, and then go to here annotation and click here text. So in we have used the 3 for dimension style, so you should use the same text style. Okay, so click here edit type and say duplicate and just give here 3 okay, and say okay, and you need to just add here 3 and say okay. And then you can add here notes. Okay, so this is your notes. Then go again text and you can add your notes. So first note, all dimensions are in millimeters and levels in meter. So this is your first note, right? Then after that, suppose I want to add one more note. Okay, you have bullet point also here. So suppose if I add this one, so this is your two. Sorry. So this is your first, right? Then this is your, what happens? Okay, so what I do, I will copy this, Control C and delete this. You can give the bullet point here and say Control V. What I want, this I don't want to use this two. So one dash. So one is also from here. Yeah. Then second refer to, or you can say what will need to do. You can add here refer to civil drawing XX or overall layout overall layout plan. Okay. Okay. Then you can add again third notes. Then suppose this is third note. Then this is fourth. Okay. So you can add this different notes. Then if you want to add some block, so you have option. So go to here and say here medium line, then use this rectangle, right? Like that. Then you can add. Okay, then you can just move down this. Okay, like that. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Okay, so you have create this. Once you create, go to your sheet and then simply drag these notes. Okay, so you can add these notes. Then if you click no title, I don't want to give any title. Okay, so you can suppose if you want to add notes, so just double click and then add your notes. So fifth, then sixth, whatever you can add. Then this you can just edit this table also, like that. Okay, so you can add the notes. Similarly, you can add the legend also. Okay, so duplicate this, right click and duplicate, save with detailing. If you just click here duplicate, so you can't see any text here. Okay, so once you done, so you say here duplicate with detailing, means whatever you have added those things. So you can just add here legend. So this is your legend. Okay, and you can add here legend. So for example, if I use what we'll say FGL, okay, and then you can say finish grade level, then top and bottom, then you can say top and bottom. Okay, then each face, you can say each face, then each way, you can say here. So these are short form we will use in our drawing. Okay, so you can add this. For example, again TOC, you can add top of concrete. Then TOS, you can say top of steel. Then TOG, you can say top of grating. Okay, so you can add whatever you have used here. Okay, in your drawing. Then your legend is ready to place on your drawing. So once you're done, so just simply drag this also. So you can just rename this. Okay, and say here legend. Okay, legend on S01. Delete and say yes. So this drawing is my S01. So you can give the number S01, right? And scale here. So you can see scale. Okay, so if I double click, so this is your 1:50 scale. If you want to give the title, so you can say here title with line. So this is your 1:50. So if you go here, title with line, right, like that. So I will just edit this. Okay. So, so once you done, then you need to add the north symbol here also. So if you go here annotation and click here symbols, and you need to search here north. So you can see north arrow. Then you can add the north arrow. Suppose my north arrow here. So I will just give here, right? Then you can add also legend here. So this is your legend, and you can remove this no title. Okay, so tagging is done, legend also done. So the first drawing is your ready. Then second, suppose I want to add the second drawing for roof. Okay, so the same thing, you need to go here apex, and if you want to edit this, so you can edit this, or otherwise you can say right click and say duplicate with detailing. Okay, so same thing you can see here. Then you need to clean up this. So first of all, hide all section marks. Category. So if you select category, so all section will be hide. Then after that, you can see all the members. It looks in hidden. Why? Because our roof is above here, right? So you can see. So you can hide this roof. So before hide, you need to add a one boundary line. So type DL and use this rectangle, and you need to just add your roof boundary, because we are going to hide the roof. Why hide? Because our member we need to show clear. Okay, so if I select this roof, or if you type VV and just go to the roof and untick this and say apply and okay. So you can see if I remove this or hide this roof so we can see our member clearly here, right? And then you can set your fine and hidden lines. Okay, so in this roof our target is just show all the structural members, for example this column, then this beam. Okay, so all those things we can cover here. Then if you set again view range, yeah, view range, so what I do, below part I will just minimize here, so I will add here minus 500 up to 500. I don't want to give any bracing. Oops. It should be more than 500. Apply, whatever, yeah, it should be minus values, and say apply and okay. Okay, so our column is also not able to see. Why? Because our slab. Okay, so we are here at the apex level, and you need to decide how much you want to show. So for example, I want to show this up to this column. Okay, so what I do, I will do here. So this is 18. So yeah, so almost 2 meter I want to cover. Okay, so you can't see any column because I have modified this view range only 600 mm. It's not able to see. Okay, so what I do, I will increase. Suppose this is 1.5 and this is 1.6, and say apply, send, okay. So you can see your column is added here. Hide all reference line, hide by category. Okay, and you need to select all purlins, right click and say select all instances in project. Okay, and right click, okay, and turn into this override graphics by elements and show in halftone. Say okay. Okay, because I want to show my framing clearly. Okay, so this purlin should be come here. Then this sheet metal I want to convert again in halftone. Right click by element and click on halftone. Okay, like that. Then if you see here, so this is your fascia purlin. Okay, so then this, what is this? So this is also wall here. Okay, and what about this? So this is concrete line, concrete slab line also. Okay, so this is our line. Previously we have added. So what I do, I will hide this concrete line also. Concrete wall, sheet metal wall. So say hide by element. So what is this? Yes, so this is also okay. So control Z. Okay, so right click and say hide by category, means all walls hide here because I have choose by category. So you can see, okay, I don't want to show any walls. Then you need to just extend this up to here, right? So our framing is clear now. So this is our fascia purlin. So you can turn into this halftone also. Right click and say by element and say halftone, right, like that. Okay, then okay, so this is your slab, sorry, roof here. So this is your roof line. Okay, so align and just match. Okay, then next you need to assign the tagging. So for column we have already assigned. Okay, so add the tagging here. Okay, so if you just adjust this text here, right, then you can add here also for C2. So you can add here C2, then you can add again C2 here, then you can add here C2, sorry, C1 here. Okay, so try to give all annotation in one line so it's easy to check. Okay, then this is also C1. So give here C1. Okay, so I will add this C1 here. Just avoid the any clashing with other member. Okay, and then here also. TG. So this is your C1, right? Then this is your C1 also. You can just move here. Okay. So you need to give the annotation for all columns. Okay. So this is your C1. Then this is your C1 here. Then here also. Okay. Then here also. Okay. So we have already assigned the C1. Then after that, this you can see this is the Raptor. Suppose if I use the TG command and then add, so you can see the same thing. Its name is added here. Okay, so click on that. You can see structural framing tag and say edit type, and select and edit label, and then you need to just remove this. So select, click on red button and add the type mark, apply and OK, and say here load into the project. So which project? This test 6 project, and say OK and say all right. So it's add a question mark because I haven't give any mark in type mark. So you can add here R1. Okay, so apply and say OK. So you can see this is R1. Then you can just move, right? And this is R1. This is also R1, right? Try to give in one direction. R1, then here also R1, and then here also R1. Then you can add here R1. Okay, then same thing you can add the R1 here, then add here, then add here. Okay, so R1 we have given here. Then similarly for this purlin I want to add P1. So select again, say edit type and say here P1, right, and say apply. Okay, and then you can give tagging here. So you can see the P1 is comes here. Then you can add the tagging for all P1, right? So you can see so here also P1 and here also P1, right? Then P1, 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 then P1, P1 and P1. Then here, so this is our fascia. Okay, so we have given here PF1, or we can just give here the same tag, G1. Okay, so guards also we have used the same thing. So you can assign G1 for guards. Say okay. Then you can assign TG and here also. Right. So this is your G1. Or you can just give the annotation here. Okay. So we have assigned the tagging for purlins and side guards. Then after that, this cross bracing you need to give again. So suppose I will add here BR1 for bracing. So go to the type mark and say here BR1 and say apply and OK. Then you need to type TG. Then you can add here BR1. So here BR1, then here also BR1, right? So here also BR1. So you need to give the tagging each and every member, whatever you have added. Then here also, then here also, right? Then here also you can give the BR1. Then here also given the BR1. Okay, so BR1 is also done. So then after that we have column here, right? So we have added the column here. Here is column, sorry, beam here connecting to frame. So if you see here, suppose if I add the section box, So you can see this beam we need to represent here. Okay, but we are not able to see because we need to increase again our view range. So if you click here, so I will just add 2 meter minus 2 meter, and here I will add 1800 and say apply. Oops, not come. So I will just add here 2 meter and here 2.5 meter minus 2.5 meter. Yes, so it comes here. So you can see and say okay. Then after that you need to just clean up again this text because it clashed. So you can show here. Same here, C1, and here also C1. Okay, so all C1 we have given here. Right, so you can see those beam you need to assign the tag for this beam. So click on that. So we need to again remove this clash. Okay, C1 you can just show here. Then C1 again. Then here also. Okay, and then after that you need to select this, go to your edit type, and you can add here type mark as a B1. Okay, so it's a beam 1. If you use more than B1, B2, B3, so you can give the tagging. So this is your B1. Okay, suppose this tag is not placed here properly, so you can assign the arrow here. So how to assign arrow? So just click on that tag and then add this leader line. So you can see this leader line is added here. Okay, so suppose, okay, so I will make it undo. Okay, so this is B1 and I want to give the tag here. Okay, so okay, so if you go here and say edit type and leader arrow here none, so you can assign the arrow here. So which type? Leader fill large. Apply and say okay. So I will assign this leader. So suppose this is my B1. Okay, then you can assign again TG for this B1. So you can see this is your B1. You can assign your leader, select and click on leader, right, like that. So this is your B1. Then again B1. Okay, so you can assign outside also. So that is B1, that is B1. Then you can delete this, right? Then here is also B1. So you can assign here. So where here. So this is your B1. No, I think, yeah, here you can see this dotted line. So this B1 exactly come below the purlins. So you can give here TG. Then here also TG. Okay, so I think I have assigned to the purlins. So yeah, so this is your B1, right? And this is also B1. So you can assign here. So this B1 is below. So you can say annotation and click here text, and you can add the text here below and say typical. Means all B1 is below. So you can rotate this text and then add here. So if you add typical, so it's applicable for here and here also. So don't give again B1 below here. Similarly, you can assign here. So this is also your B1. Then this is also B1, right? Then this is also B1. So then you can just rearrange. Then you can just move if any clashing here. Okay. So this arrow is not able to move here. Why? Because this is attached end. So you can convert into the free end. Okay, and then you can move here, and you can just align in one direction. Same here. If you want to move here, cursor arrow, so you can just select here free end, right? And then you can assign here B1. Okay, and also here you can assign the B1. Type TJ again, and you can give the leader here. So this is also B1. Then this is also B1. Then you can just rotate here or move here. So say here free end, right? And then you can just select and say free end, and then you can just drag here. Okay, and you can add again. So this is your B1. Okay, so all you need to give all the B1s, right? Here also. So give the all annotation. Then you can add this text again, B1 here, B1 here, below. Okay, so and then hide all direction mark here by category, right? And then you can rearrange all this grid to here, right? And if you give the dimension, you can give the dimension from grid to grid, and you can give the edge of this your slab. So this is 394 and this is also 394, right? Like up to here. So in base plate we have given 400. So yes, our roof is just here. So you can just round figure this one. So you can say 400 and you can just 400. So select this line and you can add here 400. Okay. Then similarly you can give this dimension also. So add dimension here, then here, and then here and here, right? So this is 364 dimension, and if you check here, so what is our dimension? 390, but our roof is just here. So that's the reason. So if you see, yes, so this is your slab edge. Oops, sorry, I have choose the wrong point. Yes, so this slab edge and this roof, yes, it's a perfectly match. So we need to check again in here, right? And you need to on this bulb, yes, and you need to check your slab. So yes, so your slab roof edge will be here. So type align. Oops. Okay, so what I do, I will unhide this roof sheet and just match. Okay, so yes, so this should be your here 390. Okay, so I will align this line to here 390, right? Now we make it round figure 390. So I think, okay, go again VB and just of this roof. So click here and apply and okay, and you can just give the dimension here. Oops, you can continue this dimension, select and select this line. What happens? Select this dimension, click here, edit, and you can give, oops, I will just give the separate dimension, type DI, and here is 390. Okay, and round up this 390. Similarly, you can give the here also. So select and here 390. Right. So this is your slab edge, roof edge. Then after that, you can give the total dimension also. Okay. So this is your roof dimension. Right. So up to here. So it's I have added here 18780 and here also. Right. So we have given 15.8. Then after that, once you done this, give the slope direction, slope here. So you have option, go to the annotation and you have option here, spot slope, right? So yes, but we have of this. So yeah, but if you click on this rafter, so you can see, so this is 11 fine. So go again and then click here. Okay, and then you can just rearrange, right? And I want to give here, so this is slope, right? 11.54 degree. And if you want to give the text again, so you can add here slope, right? Like that. Okay, similarly you can add the slope here also. Go to annotation slope and you can add here. Okay, so if you click here, so this is slope direction. So if you check here, so text types is 22.4, so make it 3, because all text in our drawing is 3. Then you can just rearrange and then try to give the same alignment as per that, and you can just copy this text and add here, right? So slope is done. Okay, so I think almost all annotation is done here. Then you can see here, so this is our fascia purlin, and here is light gauge joist. Yeah, this is also fascia purlin. What is this? Okay, so all those things done here, and we need to represent again. This is our metal deck. How to represent, because we haven't given any annotation here, so you can add the hatch here. Okay, for metal deck we need to give some pattern here. So if you want to add the hatch, you need to go here annotation, and you have option here region, and choose this fill region. Okay, so select this, and you need to create a shape. So suppose I want to create up to 2 meter, add a line here, then 2 meter here also. Then I want to just show this zigzag line like that. Okay, and finish. There is my line, then complete. So you can see this pattern is added here. So if I select, so you can see there are different types of pattern: cross hatch, then cross hatch here again, then diagonal, then diagonal up. Okay, and then solid. Okay, but you can create as per your own setting also. So suppose I want to create for metal decks, select and say edit type, say duplicate, and say you can add metal sheet. Okay, and say here okay. Then you have option here fill pattern, so you can choose as per your requirement. So here is different pattern here. So for metal sheet we are just giving the lines. Okay, straight lines. So we need to check here lines. Okay, so these lines, vertical lines. So I will select this, right, and say okay, and say okay again. So you can see this line is come, but I want to represent this line in this direction, because my metal sheet ribs you can see in slope direction. So go here again and say edit type, and click on this fill pattern, right, and you can just right click here, or you have select already, you can select here duplicate. Okay, so I want to create a new, and you can add here name metal sheet, vertical lines metal sheet, and then you need to set this angle 0. So this line should be looks in this direction, and say okay. So you can see this direction, and say apply, and okay. So you can see this line has been changed because I have changed the angle. But make sure you need to duplicate this. If you change the angle in original file, so whenever you have added this pattern, it's also changed. Okay, so you can see, but my column is not able to see. So you can increase the transparency for this hatch. So right click and go to here override graphics view in by elements, and you have option here surface transparency. Click on that. You can just give 60% transparency and say okay. Okay, so you can see your below members tagging whatever you had. Then you can just mirror this in this direction also. So what I do, I will mirror this exact, use the center point. Yes, here, so it comes here. Then I want to mirror again in this direction. So type mirror and you can give here. Then you need to represent only at the diagonal here and here. Here it means all presentation for the metal sheet. So again you need to increase the or set the transparency 60%. Say apply and okay. So you can see this is your metal sheet. If you want to add here also, so you can add. So click region and say fill region. You can use this option ellipse. Okay, and you can just add here. All right, like that. You can place this one exactly here and say okay and say vertical metal sheet. We have already added. So it looks like. Again, make it transparency by element, surface transparency, add here 60 and say okay, right? You have added. Okay, so you can see. And then you can give the annotation here. So how to give? You need to go text, then choose as per your requirement, and then add here metal sheet. If you have details for metal sheet, so you can give the metal sheet details. So which product and what house. Okay, so and suppose I want to add the arrow here for this text. So if you select, so this arrow is on here. So if you want to add left side arrow, so you can have option. If you add to right side arrow, so you have option. If you want to remove this from left side, so you have option for remove also. So suppose I want to give here. Okay, and I want to change this leader type. So simple, select here and you can go here leader arrowhead. So choose this arrow fill 30-degree large and apply and okay. Okay, so this is metal sheet. Okay, so this is your roof plan is ready to place on your drawing. So you can rename this and say roof framing plan. Right, roof framing plan. Say okay, and you need to create a new sheet. How to create? You need to go on sheet and right click and say new sheet and say here okay. So next number is automatically taken. Okay, S02, and then you can add the name here, roof plan. Okay, and you can add your roof plan. So just drag here, right, like that. Okay, and you can say roof framing plan which scale is 1:50, right? Then if you want to add notes, so you can add for S02. So go again and click on notes S01, say duplicate with detailing. Okay, so almost I have given the notes on S01. You can rename this and add here S02. So what I do, I will add here one note and say for, oops, so okay, so I have add here and say one dot and say refer to drawing number S01 for notes and legend. Okay, legend. So don't repeat again the same notes on second drawing. Okay, then you can just give up to here. Okay, so go to again view, then user interface, and I will add here properties. Yes. Okay, so this is my notes on S02. Then if you go again S02, then you can just drag here, right, like that. So don't give again legend and notes, the same notes whatever you have added on S01. So if you want to add something new notes regarding this, so you can add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but don't repeat the same note you have added here, this note. So you can give the reference here for notes and legend, refer to so and so drawing. Then again go to annotation, you need to add the north elevation, north symbol here. Okay, so this is your roof framing plan. Then third drawing sheet is your elevations. Okay, so you need to give the elevation each and every grid. So elevation on A, elevation on B, sorry D, then elevation on 4 and 1. Okay, so these four elevation you need to cover. Okay, so how to give? So for example, this is your base plan, and you need to on this section marks, right? And suppose I want to create a elevation on grid A, so add this section mark here. So I have hide all section. So if you click on this bulb, so you can see all the section marks. So click on this section mark and say unhide by category. So you can see all section here. So right click, I will just, okay, so I have already section here. I will just move just on near grid 1. The purpose of adding this elevation, so I want to elevation, I want to section on grid A. Once I have set this elevation, I can opt this section mark again. Okay, so I want to go here. So right click and say go to view. So this is your elevation on grid, which one? A. Okay, so if you go again, okay, so I have opened the number of files. Okay, so okay, so I will close all files, and then this family, and I don't want to save this. I have already modified this. So say no. So close again. Say no. Okay. So I want to go on this elevation. So first of all, if you go here in section tab, so you can see sections. So you click here. So this is your section 3. So first of all, rename this elevation on grid A. Right. So this is your elevation on grid A, and say okay. So first of all, you need to hide all the labels by category. I don't want to see any labels. Right click again, hide all reference line by category. You need to clean your elevation. So this is viewport frame, so you can adjust this. First of all, you need to set your scale 1 is to 50. Hide all section mark. I don't want to give any section mark. Then hide your wall elevation, sorry, whatever you have drawn here. So you can see all the members in hidden. Why? Because we have added the wall here. Okay, so you need to hide this wall. So you just select, move your cursor, and then press tab. So you can see hide this, and say EH, hide the elements. Then you can see clearly, right? So this is your sloping part, that's the reason it shows like that, right? And then you need to rearrange all the grids. So I want to stop here all the grids, right? Like that. So this is my grids, and this is my elevations, right? So this is my footpath here also, so you can show. So all the concrete elements you can show in faint color, because we are showing all only structure here, a steel structure. So make it slab as a half tone and say apply. Okay, so instead of that, just right click and say, and use the by category, means all slab will be automatically converted into the half tone, you can see, right? So this is your slabs, and this is your all steel members, right? Then you can add the tagging here, C1. So we have already given the C1s for column. So remove this leader, and you can add the lever C1 tag for each and every column in elevation. So you can just move here, then here, then here, then here. Okay, so we have covered all C1. Then you can add the side guards. So we have assigned G1. So you can see this is G1. Then this is also G1, right? So you can assign here. Then you have column here, beam also here. So you can assign the beam B1, then B1, then here G1. So this G1 unit align in one direction. Then we have BR1 here also. So we have assigned the BR1, right? So give the BR1, then here also BR1, then also give the BR1, here also BR1. Okay, and you can see the side guards in another direction also. So you can assign the tag for that also. So this is your G1. Then sorry, just press the tab. So this is your G1. If you are not able to click on your member, so press tab, so you can give the option. Okay, and then click on your members. Okay, and then this wall, click, and then by category I want to convert all walls in halftone. Okay, like that. So all annotation done. Then here all P1, right? So if I give the TG, so this is your P1 and this is your G1. Okay, and all this P1. So you can give only one tagging here, right? Then after that you need to assign the top of concrete here. So how to assign? So go to annotation and say here spot elevation. Okay, click here spot elevation. So you can see the level is 0. Okay, you can assign this type. So click on that and click here and say duplicate. And you can say TOC in section. So if you want to add in TOC in section, so you have modify this. First of all, if you want to give this symbol, so you you can give here symbol M spot target fill. And if I select, so there are different here crosshair. Okay, so how it looks crosshair, so it looks like. So go again, edit type, then suppose exterior fill. Say okay, so you can see. Okay, so I want to assign this for my section. So if I add any TOC, I want to assign this symbol, right? And then after that go again, edit type. You have option here, top indicator elevation. Okay, top indicator. Then okay, so in top indicator I will assign TOC, top of concrete. Oops, sorry, it's different. So I will delete this. Bottom indicator elevation indicator. Yeah, here elevation indicator you can add TOC and say apply and okay. So this text is add here. Then if you don't want to give this leader, so you can just remove this leader. So it's come on exactly on your element. Go again, say edit type. You have option here for units. Suppose I want to assign some precision 0.00. I want to give the three decimal. Okay, so untick this option and on this 3 decimal places and say okay and say apply and okay. So you can see here. If you want to give the only 2 decimal, go again, click here and use this where, yeah, here 2 decimal. Let's say apply and okay. Okay, so you can assign this TOC. So TOC is your 0 at this for this slab. Okay, then after that, suppose this is your elevation is done. So next elevation, just control save. So this elevation is done. Then next elevation I want to give on grid line D. Same thing, you need to all elevation should be see from outside. So your section mark is outside of the building. If you give the elevation, so it should be outside from the building. Okay, so this is your elevation on grid D. So first of all, rename this section and then add here elevation on grid D and say okay. And then same thing, you need to clean up this. Hide first of all levels. You need to change the scale 1:50. You need to change the fine here. You need to change this here, the hidden line. Hide all section mark. I don't want to give section mark. Then move your grids above, because all grids is clash to all members. So stop on this above part, above your elevation. Then hide this elevation. Yes, wall. So right click and say hide an element. Then side walls, you need to right click and say here override graphics by category and dump into the halftone. Okay, so you can see. Then all slabs also you need to convert into the halftone, because I want to mainly I want to focus in this drawing my steel structure. Okay, so you can see here all the members is looks okay. Then you can assign this viewport frame. Just adjust this viewport frame, right? And then same thing, you need to assign the all text for column, purlin, side guards. Previously we have shown in grids, right? So this is also, so if you go elevation, right? So all done. So it's clash to each other. Okay, so elevation on grid and elevation A and D have finished. So you need to assign the tagging. So I'm not giving again tagging for all members. So we know how to add the tagging. Similarly, you need to create a elevation on grid 4. Okay, so first of all, we need to cover elevation grid 1 and then after that 4. Then right click and say go to view. So this is your elevation on grid 4. Right click, hide by category, and you need to give rename and say elevation on grid 4 and say OK. And of your reference lines, whatever you have added, change the scale 1 to 50, set view fine, then hidden lines, hide all section marks. Okay, so this is your elevation on grid D, sorry, 4. Okay, so you can just adjust those things. The same thing, you need to hide this elevation. Okay, so right click and hide by element, so you can see. Then similarly, you can assign this as a halftone. All slabs should be halftone. All walls should be halftone. Right? Then you need to assign all the members tagging here. So type TG, then you can give the okay. So we have added one beam also. So you can, so B1 we have already used. So for this lintel beam, you can assign B2. Okay, so you can assign B2. So this is your B2. Right? Similarly, you can assign here B2. Then you can assign tag for each and every members. Okay, so I will assign here for this purlins tag. Then you can give P1, P1, then P1, P1, P1. Here also P1, 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 P1 here, P1. Then this is your G1. Here also G1. Then I add a G1 here. Okay, so you need to cover all. So this is your rafter. So you need to give the rafter R1 and then also R1. Right, so you need to cover all the grids, sorry, all the tags, whatever you have given here and here. Then you can add the text here, roller shutter, roller shutter door. All right, so you can give here. Yeah, and another one more important thing, you need to give all opening sizes here. Suppose this opening sizes here 750. Okay, so our opening here start from here, so 21. Then this opening, how give the set out dimension from the grids. Okay, so they can, contractor can fix the location as per this dimension. Similarly this one, so type DI, give the dimension, then you need to give the dimension from the grids. then contractor can add this as per that on your on as per your location. This is the roller shutter, so you can add here size also. Okay, so all information you can give here. So this is B1, so type PG and you can add the B1. So if you want to add the leader, so click here and add leader, and you can just annotate this. So this is your B1. Right, so all information you need to give here. Then you can see gutter, so you can add here gutter. So if you want, if you have, if you will give the gutter detail on your structural drawings, so you can give the reference. Otherwise, if architectural discipline involved in this project, so you can give the gutter refer to architectural drawings for details. So you can just give the reference here. Okay, then you can just split into two lines, and we know how to add the leader. Select and then you can add the leader and you can show here, right? Then you need to add the slope also. Go to the annotation, spot elevation, and add the slope. Sorry, go to the spot slope. You can add the spot slope. Yes, similarly here, right? So you can add this slope. So all information you need to give here. So you can give the roller shutter. Similarly, you can give here personal door and say typical. So if you give the typical, you don't need to give again text for second door, and then you can just mention here. So all information you need to give here. Then you can give the tagging for each and every member. All right, like that. Delete this, and footpath you can hide. We haven't shown here. Okay, so we will cover in concrete drawings. Okay, so this elevation is done, right? And one more elevation we need to create. So this elevation on grid one, I think this is elevation on grid one. So just rename this, right? And we need to create elevation on grid four now. Okay, so we can just, we have already just clip this section and then add here and say go to view, right? And you can just clean up this section. Okay, and say category. Okay, so whatever we have given or we did this in elevation on grid one, you need to do the same thing. Okay, so I'm not updating again those same thing. So hide by category. So this is your elevation on grid one, sorry, four. So create and say elevation on grid four. Okay, so my all four grids elevation has been done. Suppose if there any internal wall here, so you need to give the elevation on grid three also, right? Once your elevation is done, so hide all the section mark from this sheet. So click any section mark and say hide by category. So all section mark you can hide. Then you need to create again new drawing. So right click and say new drawing and say here, and you can give the name elevations. So let's see if all four elevation is fit in this drawing. Otherwise, we need to create one more drawing for elevations and just drag your elevation. So this is your elevation on grid A. You can just move this, right? And then this is your elevation on grid one, right? So this is your elevation on grid one. Then you can just move this text exactly below, right? Then I think okay, so you can just manage or you can just move this, right? And we need to add two more elevations. So suppose this is grid, how much scale? Oops, so this is 100. You need to change this 1 is to 50, right? And then hide all section marks. right? Okay, and this is your elevation on grid 4. So I think we need to create one more drawing because all four elevation is not fit. So you can just give the two elevation here, right? And then you can add here and then just rename elevation and you can add sheet 1, right? And then okay. So this is your elevation sheet 1. Similarly, you need to create a new drawing and say okay, right? And then rename this, right click, rename this and say elevation, elevation space dash space sheet 2, right? And remaining elevation you need to add here. So this is your elevation 4 and this is elevation on grid D, right? And then you can just arrange this text here and this text also you can, right? So this is your S04 drawing. So you can see we have created four number of drawings: S01, S02, S03, and S04. Then after that, we need to create the connection detail sheet. So we will see how to give the connection details. So first of all, if you go here, base plate. So in that case, you need to think how many base plate you are using. Okay, so first one this. So you need to give the connection detail for base plate connection detail for C1, base plate connection detail for C2, base plate connection detail for C3. So three connection detail you need to add from this view. Then if you go to the roof, so all connection you need to covered here. So how to connect this rafter to the column, then how to connect this B1 to this column. So you need to study all the connection and we need to cover all those things. Okay, so if I hide by say category and wall also hide by category. Okay, so first of all you need to give base plate connection, then you need to go here up here. Once your column is installed, so you need to add the rafter. So in rafter connection you need to give this bracing rafter and this B1 connection. So all those three connection you can develop. After that you can give the purlin connection or the rafter. All right, then remaining is side guard. So all connection we need to cover in our connection drawing. So in next session we will start from connection. Okay, and after connection we need to create this concrete drawing on this foundation slab and this footpath. Then we need to add details for foundation and we need to add the reinforcement also in schematic. How to add the schematic reinforcement, you need to give the sections and blown up details. Okay, so all those things we will see in next session. So I think we should stop for now. So if you have any question, any doubt, so you can ask.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Sir, in elevation, can we give the different colors to line
Different colors means
of
which line?
yes?
Which line?
These all our lines are black and white. No?
Yeah, but this is not lines. This is your member. So you can
Okay,
see. So this is your 3D member. Okay.
okay, okay.
Suppose if I delete from this 3D view.
From 3D,
Okay.
yes, yes,
Yes.
sir.
So in the 2D in also delete. Suppose I will just delete this. And if
Yes,
you check here, so this member is also delete. Right? So if I make it undo, so you can see this B2 is come here. So these are not lines. So this is your 3D elements.
3D images. Okay.
Right, right.
आणि सर सर और अगर हमने कहीं बीच में सेक्शन कट किया
हम्म
तो वो क्रॉस सेक्शन में वो मटेरियल के हैचिंग दिखता है कि उसमें जैसे
कौन?
कंक्रीट का है या ब्रिक वर्क का है अपना
यस,
स्टील स्ट्रक्चर
अच्छा,
का है
मेंबर में से कट किया तो
हाँ
एक मिनट में दिखाता
जैसे
हूँ
अगर
ये।
अपन ने वहां पर सेक्शन की कट कर
हाँ,
दिया
ये
उसके
सपोज ये
बाद
सेक्शन मैंने कट कर दिया
हाँ
यहाँ पे और अब अगर गए और से गो टू व्यू,
ये
ओके, तो इसमें थोड़ा सा आपको क्लीन अप करना पड़ेगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इसका स्केल बढ़ाना पड़ेगा। सपोज मैं इसको 25 पे करता हूँ। ओके,
ओके,
सो ये कॉलम बीम नहीं कट हुआ है क्या?
हो गया।
नहीं, ये राफ्टर कट करता हूँ मैं, राफ्टर आपको दिखेगा फिर। एंड से गो टू व्यू। ओके, सो इसको मैं करता हूँ फाइन। सो ये देखो, ये आपका क्रॉस हैच आ गया है यहाँ पे। ठीक
हाँ
है,
हाँ,
अभी ये स्लोपिंग है ना, इसकी वजह से वो ऐसा दिख रहा है क्रॉस तो।
स्केल बढ़ाया तो दिख जाएगा।
दिख जाएगा, ये अगर स्केल मैंने 20 का किया है तो देखो बढ़ जाएगा।
ओके, ओके सर,
ठीक है
थैंक यू
सर।
सर।
यस सर, बहुत अच्छी बात है, आपको समझ में आ रहा है, आप क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं तो मुझे भी अच्छा लग रहा है कि आप भी कुछ
हाँ
आपके एंड से कर रहे हैं।
जी
गुड।
जी।
सो और कुछ डाउट्स, क्वेश्चन?
अच्छा, इसमें जो स्लोपिंग आपने दिखाई है,
हम्म।
तो ये स्लोपिंग कैसे जो है हम लोग लेते हैं?
ये स्लोप यहाँ पे, अगर आप गए एलिवेशन में, सो ये यहाँ पे आप गए अनोटेशन में और ये स्लोप है। सो ये बाय डिफॉल्ट आएगा, जो भी स्लोप आप लोगे उसके हिसाब से वो बराबर कैलकुलेट करेगा। सपोज ये भाई, अभी देखो ये मैंने बढ़ा दिया स्लोप, और इसका मैं स्लोप गिनता हूँ तो इसका स्लोप आ गया 39 डिग्री आ गया। ठीक है, सो ये पूरा रीड करता है, ये ऑटोमेटिक होता है। ये यहाँ पे अगर आप गए अनोटेशन में, ये और स्लोप, सो ये ऑटोमेटिक लेता है एक्चुअल स्लोप।
बेस लाइन से अपने आप ले लेता है।
एग्जैक्टली, आपका जो भी 3D एलिमेंट है और जो भी आपका 2D लाइन है उसके हिसाब से वो बराबर लेगा। इवन ये आप अगर स्लोप इसमें दिया स्लैब में तो वो भी कैलकुलेट करेगा ये।
सर मैं पिछले ड्राइंग से कुछ पूछना चाह रहा हूँ।
हाँ,
सर वो जो आपने ओवरहेड टैंक बनाया था, और जो वो इरेगुलर नीचे से सेक्शन दिया था, उसमें स्टेयर अगर बनाना हो तो कैसे बनेगा?
कौन सा?
जो आपने आरसीसी मॉडल बनाया था उसके बगल में एक ओवरहेड टैंक दिया था आपने।
टैंक?
जी जी। उसमें स्टेयर अगर देना है, सर्कुलर स्टेयर देनी है तो कैसे प्लेस होगा, ये मैं पूछना चाह रहा था। अभी
सर्कुलर
सर
स्टेयर।
एक्चुअली मैं यहाँ पे
हाँ,
पहुंचा नहीं हूँ, प्रैक्टिस मेरी वहीं पे है, तो इसलिए मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ।
सर्कुलर स्टेयर का ऑप्शन है ना हमारे पास, हमने।
आर्किटेक्चर।
नहीं, सर्कुलर सर वो तो रेडियस दे दे रहे हैं तो एक आ जा रहा है, बट वो इरेगुलर शेप पे कैसे आएगा, मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ। जैसे नीचे एक्सट्रूजन का आपने ऑप्शन लिया है, उसमें बनाया था, तो
क्या?
इरेगुलर शेप पे उसको कैसे अरेंज
हाँ,
करेंगे?
ये वाला बोल रहे क्या आप? रैम्प?
नहीं, रैंप नहीं सर, मैं ओवरहेड टैंक की बात कर रहा हूँ, इससे पिछले मॉडल पे जो आरसीसी मॉडल आपने किया था।
उधर किधर टैंक बनाया हमने, ओवर टैंक? टैंक बनाया
वो
था क्या?
बाउंड्री के बगल लिया था ना सर हमने, एक डोम स्ट्रक्चर आपने खड़ा करके दिखाया
हाँ
था ना
हाँ
सर
हाँ
बगल,
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
उसमें
अच्छा
उसकी
अच्छा,
बात कर।
ओके। सो उसमें क्या करना है आपको? स्टेयर
उसमें
देना है।
सर, हाँ सर, स्टेयर देना है।
एक मिनट। सो वो ऐसा कुछ स्ट्रक्चर बनाया था ना हमने ऐसा।
हाँ 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 सर,
यस
ये
सर।
हाँ
ये नीचे एक्सट्रूजन आपने इस्तेमाल किया था, ये नीचे वाले में।
हाँ हाँ, पूरा राउंड का किया था मैंने, बराबर।
जी जी।
तो
उसमें उसमें एक्चुअली क्या है कि सर, अभी आप पे है या नहीं है सर वो?
अभी मॉडल में होगा ना वो।
हाँ, तो मॉडल खोलेंगे तो सर उसमें दिख जाएगा।
ये ऐसा है ना ये।
हाँ हाँ सर,
हाँ,
एक्सट्रूजन करके दिया था।
एक्सट्रूजन बराबर, ये मैंने 360 में रोटेट किया था। सो
हाँ
आपको यहाँ
सर,
पे क्या करना है, स्टेयर देना है।
स्टेयर देना है सर। एक तो इससे एक स्टेयर दे करके, मान लीजिए ओवरहेड टैंक है ये, उस पे स्टेयर सर्कुलर देना है। तो अगर रेडियस हम कर दे रहे हैं तब तो फिर वो पेरीफेरी छोड़ दे रहा है ना सर, मैं इसलिए कह
नहीं
रहा हूँ।
नहीं, ये काम करो, ये उसका टॉप टॉप जो भी टॉप लेवल है वो दे दो। उसके बाद
जी
ये
सर।
बॉटम लेवल दे दो, और उसके बाद रेडियस दे दो, वो डायरेक्टली पकड़ लेगा वहां से। नहीं तो दूसरा क्या ऑप्शन है, अगर ये ज्यादा हाइट है तो ये स्लैब यहाँ पे दे दो, वो स्लैब को सपोर्ट दे दो, कुछ स्टील प्लेटफॉर्म वगैरह कुछ। फिर यहाँ से यहाँ तक एक दो, फिर यहाँ से यहाँ तक एक दो, हो जाएगा फिर।
अच्छा अच्छा सर। अच्छा ठीक है, मैं समझ गया, उसको चार चार पोर्शन में
स्प्लिट
करना
करना
है।
पड़ेगा, क्योंकि कैसा
ठीक
है,
है।
हम अपना जो स्टैंडर्ड है, अभी मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया पे काम करता हूँ, ऑस्ट्रेलिया स्टैंडर्ड पे, तो वो बंदे क्या बोलते हैं, हमें 18 स्टेप्स के ऊपर नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि कैसा, अगर बंदा उस पे जाएगा ना तो वो
जी जी
थक जाएगा।
लग जाएगा।
हाँ, सो 18 नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स के एक्सीड करना ही नहीं है हमें। अगर 18 आता है तो ठीक है, अगर 19 आता है तो उसको स्प्लिट करेंगे हम दो इसमें। ठीक
ठीक है
है,
सर।
तो सेम केस वहां पे।
ठीक है सर, इसमें एक्चुअली डाया का फर्क आ रहा था ना, तो वो बन तो रहा था बट किनारे किनारे उससे टच नहीं हो रहा था, ये समस्या आ रही थी।
अच्छा, तो आप स्प्लिट कर दो उसको दो इसमें।
ठीक है सर।
ओके
ऑल गुड। कुछ क्वेश्चन, कुछ डाउट्स?
नो सर।
ओके सर, थैंक यू एंड हैप्पी दिवाली टू ऑल।
थैंक
सो
यू, सेम टू यू सर।
हैप्पी
यस,
दिवाली।
यस, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। सो नेक्स्ट सेशन आई थिंक इन नवंबर में है, कुछ नवंबर में मैं बताता हूँ इसे। ठीक है,
ओके
तो ये
सर।
रिमेनिंग पार्ट अभी क्या बचा है हमारा, 2D का कनेक्शन डिटेल्स, और उसमें आप डिटेल कैसे बनाएंगे वो देखेंगे।
हाँ
और उसमें है, और 2D का पार्ट है, उसमें शेड्यूलिंग है, शेड्यूल कैसे निकालते, टेक ऑफ कैसे निकालते, तो ये दो तीन इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है। और 3D में डिटेलिंग, रेनफोर्समेंट कैसे ऐड करते हैं, ये भी एक अच्छा इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है। फिर आखिरी में हम मल्टी डिसिप्लिन का कैसे काम करते हैं वो एक से देखेंगे।
सर, इसमें वो एक ऑटो कैड की ड्राइंग इंपोर्ट करके कैसा कर
हाँ
सकते
हाँ,
हैं?
वो भी वो लास्ट में बताऊंगा मैं, वो जो
ओके।
लास्ट सेशन है ना मल्टी
हाँ,
डिसिप्लिन का, उसमें बताऊंगा मैं कैसे ऐड करते हैं। ठीक
ऐड
है।
करके या फिर यहाँ से ऑटो डिस्क में, मतलब ऑटो कैड में कैसा एक्सपोर्ट करके वो भी।
यस यस यस, मैं बताऊंगा, ये सारी चीजें बताऊंगा। यस।
ओके सर।
ओके, देन गुड नाइट ऑल, हैप्पी
गुड
दिवाली
नाइट
टू
सर।
ऑल।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
गुड नाइट सर।
गुड नाइट, गुड